Hello, guys. I guess we are live now. A few words before we go to the live stream straight away. Usually, the live stream should have been yesterday, but I'm actually sick. I'm still sick. Feeling a bit better than the last few days. It started Thursday evening, Friday morning, few hours after the live stream, the last live stream, to be honest. And my voice is also not mine, kind of like I do have a distortion in my voice as well. And right now I'm feeling a bit hot as well, but I'm well enough to see the live stream through, I hope. And that's why, by the way, the format of the live stream is going to be a bit shorter, 3 cards per star sign. Although I really hoped that I could have do something bigger for that transit, but I just don't want to put a high pressure on myself. So that's why it's going to be only 3 cards per star sign, but still that doesn't mean that the quality of the reading is going to be any less than what would have been if I did a 5-card spread or a 4-card spread. It's just the difference is that this is going to be more like a guidance for you guys rather than a fortune telling reading telling you what exactly is going to happen throughout the live stream, not throughout the live stream, but throughout the transit. And the transit is going to be in an effect. I'm going to check it right now. Well, it's going into the next year. Oh, I don't have the calendar for the next year. So if Pisces Moonbeam or any of you guys know when Mars is going direct, that's going to be great. Other than that, let's focus on the collective reading now. If you had paid attention to the 3 cards on the thumbnail itself, you would have saw those 3. Okay, so the first one, that is the Eight of Swords. The second card there was the Seven of Swords, and the third one that was the Five of Cups. That is the Five of Cups. Yeah, I don't know, I always confuse this card for the Six of Cups. That's why I'm kind of like double checking here. Five of Cups, right? So this is the elemental dignity, okay, for the collective of the Mars retrograde here. And right away, what made a huge impression to me was these 2 cards, okay. These 2 cards, let me show them to you like that. And what their expression is that throughout this transit, we should start thinking a little bit more about ourselves, especially if thinking about ourselves causes inconvenience elsewhere. Because what happens otherwise, it is that people are going to start using the inconvenience as an emotional leverage to manipulate us. So in a certain situations, instead of us getting the benefit, someone else is getting the benefit instead of us. That is how the situations are gonna play out. So basically, we do have a choice to make. To be honest, here, are we going to be? Are we gonna try to be liked by everyone, and that is only trying, and allowing ourselves to be set on the second gear, so to speak? Or are we gonna put a strong backbone, step for our personal rights, or rather like stand for our self-righteousness, okay? stand our ground and actually demand this time around what we deserve and what we had been owed. And because we do have a January 12th, thank you, into it now, or Susan Bishop, thank you so much. So January 12th, it is when Mars goes direct. So again, because we do have the Eight of Swords, that is a card showing that this status or attitude for putting ourselves first somewhat is blocked right now for one or another reason, okay? And we have to kind of like lift that self-imposed limitation from us, or from our mind, or from our behavior, from our, how can I put it into words, code of conduct as well, if you will. From the other side, we do have the Five of Cups out there. It kind of shows that we can I put it into words? Kind of shows that there are few ways how a person can see over one situation or another, because these two cards, the Eight of Swords and the Five of Cups, okay, are showing that the situations that we are going to have to endure throughout the next few months, 3 months that is, or a couple of months, are going to be very neutral. What I'm trying to say is that we can choose to see them as an affliction, or we can choose to see them as a virtue, okay? We can choose to see them as a bad omen, or we can choose to see them as a blessing in disguise, one way or the other. And obviously the advice is that we should try to see them as a blessing in disguise. And again, that happens if we do start thinking a bit more about ourselves than for the others, because believe me guys, if you don't start thinking for yourself, no one else is going to, unless it is your mother or a father. No one else is going to. And that is the collective reading for a Mars retrograde. And now let me explain you guys how the live stream is gonna run. So for those who are gonna be new, so in this live stream, I'm going to make 12 readings, one for each star sign. I'm going to start from Aries, and I'm going to end up with Pisces. And amongst those readings, there are going to be also 3 readings, free readings. They are going to be, they will be won by 3 of you, 3 individuals of you. One free reading contest is going to happen after the star sign of Cancer. The other free reading contest is going to happen after the star sign of Scorpio. And the final free reading contest is going to happen after the star sign of a Pisces. So in order to contest for a free reading, all you got to do is just input a question once I do announce the break. That announces that the contest start. And you can ask almost any kind of question. It is advisable the question to be open, in a sense of that, because Tarot cannot make decisions for anyone. They cannot tell you, are you going to be hired at work or not, because that depends on the decision your boss is going to make, okay? Or are someone going to call you or not? Again, that depends on their decision, a choice to call you or not. So try the question to be open. And when you do input your question, I usually give 5 minutes. I'm going to pick one question and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. Other than that, if you do choose to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat, you're going to get a reading at the end of the live stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your Super Chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be in the very same format I'm doing for the star signs, the three card Elemental Dignity reading. And if you're interested to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you will see full list of my services and as well their pricing. So with that said, let's start with the first star sign that we do have, which is going to be Aries. By the way, In order to keep track of the star signs, you can watch the glyph that it is displayed over here. And by the way, thank you, Susan. Hopefully, yeah. Give me a moment. I am feeling Mercury retrograde, being sick and all that. Other than that, I don't know what Mercury retrograde shows in terms of astrology. Maybe you would wish to enlighten us, Pisces Moonbeam. All right, so for Aries, the first card that we do have, that's going to be the Devil. Followed by the second card, which is the King of Swords. And the third card for Aries, that's going to be the Knights of Wands. All right, so this is... yeah, Mercury, so Mars. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm confusing it. We are Mars retrograde, yeah. That is because I never did Mars retrograde, I believe. I always did Mercury retrogrades, or when I do retrogrades, I do Mercury and Venus. I don't think I ever did Mars. That's why I'm saying. All right, so those for Aries here, and what immediately made my impression is those two cards, guys. And what they show it is that moreover than not, in the next couple of months or in the duration of Mercury retrograde, people on a professional positions are gonna be prone to give you, I don't want to say wrong advice. I would say advice that most likely ain't gonna work for you. Okay, so as a guidance, is gonna be always best to seek a second opinion. For example, if you are going to, how can I put it into words? Diagnose yourself or over something medical. Seek a second opinion, third opinion as well. Very important. Consultation with a lawyer, for example. Consult yourself with few lawyers so you can see the best course of action. Because if everybody gives you a different treatment or a different course of action, then none of them knows what they're doing. Okay, and obviously what it is, the problem that you do have is currently either not developed enough, or there is not enough clues, or it's not advanced enough to anyone could be able to put a accurate, let's say, resolution to it, so salvation or a treatment. And wrong treatment, usually it's way more devastating than waiting a little bit longer. So make sure that you seek a second opinion for anything that you do not know what it is going on, that you don't have expertise into it. Very, very important here. The other elemental dignity pretty much shows that it's very milder, but it kind of shows that it will be a bit, can I put it into words? You will find, you will have a difficulty, Aries, to find your passion. It's not like there will be no enterprising events in front of you, but it is just none of them is gonna be igniting, so you're gonna find them a bit blunt, so to speak. And that's why it's very advisable to kind of like to satiate your hungers. For example, if you're hungry for adrenaline, do something that boosts your adrenaline. If you are hungry for partying, go party. Okay, if you are hungry for sex, well, I hope you do have someone to have sex with. and so on and so forth. But the biggest thing it is that you will have an immense amount of drive to dictate rules throughout the next few months, or a couple of months up until the 12th of January. So make sure that you do use that power given to you by the Mercury retrograde objectively and as well efficiently also, because after that, any wrongdoing of yourself using that power is going to be repaid back. Okay, so that is for Aries. Pisces Moonbeam, thank you for your 222 Canadian. Thank you, Pisces Moonbeam. Yeah, sure, I know your question. Yes, let me put you into the list. All right, so that was Aries. Now moving on, next we do have Taurus. It is Mars retrograde. Am I saying Mercury? I'm sorry, guys. It is Mars retrograde, yes. So for Taurus, the first one that is going to be Temperance, followed by the second one, which is the Lovers, and the third one that is going to be the Ace of Wands. So Taurus, for what those cards are showing, you guys are gonna have a very strong transit, or Mars retrograding is going to be very, very strong for you. This elemental dignity here shows a few things. The Temperance and the Lovers, they are active friends, and what it shows, it is that no matter what, okay, no matter what, no matter how the situations are gonna turn out, you are always gonna be able to find your way through, even if you have to wriggle yourself through. That is a very, how can I put it into words, very familiar experience on my end. I don't know why, but it always happens like that to me, no matter how bad things are, guys. At the end of the day, at the very end of it, always something out of nowhere miraculously happens that either diminishes the negativity for me, or it turns the situation completely upside down. So that is a blessing that you're going to have throughout the next couple of months here. And going along with that blessing, that means that everything that it is around you, everything that it is happening to you, is going to be to make you feel harmonious with your environment, is going to make you feel harmonious with your job, with your colleagues, with your friends as well, with everything that is going on around. And also, whichever decision that you decide to make, okay, it always gonna leads you to your destination at the end of the day. But it is very important that that choice you make, it is a intentional choice rather than being set by someone else. So it's either going to be something that you want to do, or something that you have to do, rather than something that someone else wants you to do, or something that someone else have to do but wants you to do them to do it for them. Okay, that's very, very important. And as the Lovers is there, people gets a little bit, you know, fuzzy seeing that card. So yeah, love, it is very, very possible, but there are a couple of conditions Okay, should you meet someone that poses interest to you into the next couple of months, Taurus, that person is gonna be very different. Okay, very, very different. They probably are gonna move into completely different social circles. They will be a part of a completely different layer of the society, not level, but a layer of society. For example, you like a very quiet, companies and so on and so forth. Well, that person loves to party. I mean, they can't stand a night without going somewhere on a bar or on a pub and so on and so forth. Different taste of music, for example, different taste of hobbies, etc., etc. So they're going to be, almost everything is going to be different. And it will come to that, will you be able to respect the differences in between one another, so those differences can make you special to one another? That is going to be the condition, so you allow that potential for love to flourish in between you two. And should you allow that to happen, you will face a lot of compassion and solidarity from that person. And from the other elemental dignity, Taurus, that elemental dignity that shows that no matter what you do, there will be always options available for you. There will be always gaining for enterprises that are going to stand in front of you. So that is for Taurus. Moving on, next we do have Gemini. Hello, Mattia. Welcome to the stream. I am Scorpio, Melanie. I'm not just feeling a bit poorly, like I'm saying I was sick and I'm still sick. I'm getting better, but I'm not fully healed yet. First one, that's gonna be the Knights of Cups for Gemini, followed by the Six of Cups. Oh my god, Mattia, happy birthday! Followed by the Strength card. It's 3rd of November? Okay. Those 3 cards. And long story short, especially from that elemental dignity for Gemini, it pretty much urges you to start doing what you feel pleased with instead of what you gotta do. Okay, what that means it is that if you have to choose in your job, being involved with people and project that allows you to express yourself creatively, so to speak, and also the work itself is gonna give you pleasure, you're not gonna see it as a chore, but instead you will be very interested to be involved in that work. And you can choose about your social circle as well, Gemini, and according to these cards, you should choose to associate yourself only with people that you feel pleasant around, that you do like their emotional and physical expression as well, instead of you trying to be liked by everyone. Okay, so do not be afraid to show your displeasure to those that you do not like, according to these cards. The other two, though, are kind of showing that that Mars retrograde is gonna put a strain on your personal composure. Okay, those 2 cards. So you are gonna be very prone of losing it. A very little thing may make you snap around and kind of like lose your temper in one situation or another, and that's it's not a good thing, because you may screw a few situations around, And also another collateral to such a behavior, it is that you may grow to see no point moving forward with one thing or another, while there is a point moving forward. In fact, by those three cards, all of them, if you have a goal that you like, okay, or that it is your wish, it's very accomplishable, but it only measures with your actions rather than hoping that it's gonna happen on its own accord here. And that's why your results are going to be measured by what you do rather than what you say. So allow your actions to speak louder than your words, rather than snapping around on people or on situations as well. Very, very important to do whatever you can to maintain your composure. Mattia, thank you so much for your $19.99 US. Thank you, Mattia. Make sure that you stick around up until the end of the stream, where you're going to have your personalized reading for the Mars retrograde. And Sherry, by the way, welcome to the stream, girl. I haven't saw you for a while. All right, so that was Gemini. Now moving on, next we do have Leo. Not Leo, Cancer. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Leo. Cheers, Mattia. Although only with coffee. Cheers. Well, Melanie, if you have the mood for it, every day could be a birthday celebration for you. I mean, you don't have to wait one day a year to celebrate. In fact, I don't celebrate my birthday because it's just a day for me. If I feel like it, I can celebrate today. Because tomorrow is promised to no one, you know, and every single day it's a miracle for all of us. All right, so Cancer, Knight of Wands for you guys. Afterwards, we do have the Five of Wands. And then it is the Ten of Cups. All right, so for Cancer, it will be quite of a rumble into the next couple of months, according to these two cards. And by the way, these two, they are active enemies, okay? But because the Five of Wands, it is the supplemental one from the other side, your displeasure, because you will be displeased, is going to be mostly because you have just so much time, okay? The Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands, which are these couple of cards. If I have to combine them only in one sentence, they say there is always something else, right? You are never gonna have, you almost not gonna have a spare time for yourself, okay? You come back from work and you set yourself to kind of enjoy a calm and steady evening, having your supper and watching a movie. A couple of friends are gonna call you to share their experience. They're gonna ask you out and these kind of stuff. So my point here is that throughout this next couple of months, there will be always something that you will be dragged into and to do, and it will be almost all the time quite surprising. So that said, having a solid plans, or rather like having a strict plans, just I don't wanna put down your horses, but some of them, if not all of them, may be reshuffled, okay? And how can I put it into words? It's just things may not happen exactly how you planned. However, that doesn't mean that the end destination cannot be reached. In fact, Next couple of months are perfect for you, Cancer, to really push hard into the fields that you are most disadvantageous at, that in generally that you suck at. For example, if your love life is DOA, well, this is the field that you pretty much push into. Go out, start looking for people, not looking, but displaying yourself into the world, okay? Because the Knights of Wands and the Five of Wands are the cards showing that wherever you suck the most, it's where it's very likely to have a quite surprising turnaround of events, okay? You have no one to date, and suddenly it could happen that you have a few people interested in you and you have to, you know, choose one of them. Why you don't have to choose right away. I mean, you can try all of them and see which one suits you best, but that is how you should use the energy. Because and you, Melanie, are saying yeah, but if you do have a strict plan, like, you know, this week I'm gonna do that and the next week I'm gonna do this and so on and so forth, then you're gonna be lost into trying always to catch up with the plan, because there is always gonna be something else, and you're always gonna feel on the back track, and therefore you're not gonna allow those surprising events to be to perform their turnaround. And instead of pushing into the place that you have to catch up with, or rather like that you suck at, you will push into something that's, I don't want to say irrelevant, but something that can be left alone for a while. So you have to be enterprising. That should be your standpoint, Cancer. And wherever there is an opportunity, you should take it instead of trying to create opportunities. That is what I am trying to say. If you are jobless, for example, then that is where you have to push really, really hard. Finding a job and having no interviews, suddenly in a few days or in a week, it may happen that few companies are calling you for an interview, and few of them are to call you for a second one. One day at the time, yeah, that's a right attitude. All right, so that was for Cancer, and now the first break is gonna take place, and you can guys now contest for a free reading with me. In order to contest, you have to input a question that you want me to read for with my tarot cards for it, and after 5 minutes, I'm gonna pick one of your questions and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. If there are no questions, I'm just gonna move on to the next 4 star signs. Anyone who decides to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat, you guys are gonna get a reading at the end of the stream. That's guaranteed. And should your Super Chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same format I'm doing for the star signs, the 3-card elemental dignity spread. Hello, Unbreakable. So, Mattia, what are your plans for your birthday? Curious to know how people are celebrating their birthday. Thank you, Unbreakable. Well, that's a bit overwhelming, isn't it? Hello, Sam. Welcome to the stream. No, I'm not Serbian. I'm Bulgarian. Close enough, though. You're not sure, Mattia? Well, it's in 3 days. Usually people plan their birthday in a few weeks before the birthday kind of like comes up. We? Who are we? The Serbians? Hopefully someone surprises you, Mattia. But you know, I haven't been in Serbia, but I have friends who were there, and yeah, they are kind of like they like the Serbian food, especially that you know the Americans call it a meatball, but it is not actually the Serbian one is not actually a meatball. It's called pleskavica, and I can't eat it to be honest, because of my own restrictions. But many people, almost everyone, says that that is top of the top, the acme of the meatballs. I don't understand that, Sam. What prophecy? Right. Well, yeah, it's a Serbian meatball. It's a Serbian meatball. I'm saying the Serbian name, and we don't know any other name here in Bulgaria. Uh, should I get a new lawyer? Unbreakable asks. I cannot make a choice for you, but I can tell you what your experience gonna be if you find a new lawyer. I never heard of this one though. Unbreakable. Oh, okay, Sam. Thank you. Well, these are the cards for you. Unbreakable in regard to finding a new lawyer. Now, according to them, you're not gonna get along very well with the new lawyer, but the new lawyer will have a better strategy to get the job done. Probably, you know, the way that that they will want to approach the matter is not gonna be the way that you are willing to approach the matter, and that's why you're not gonna get very well along. Okay, so most likely the new lawyer is going to have some practices that you are not going to be very agreed with, but the new lawyer will have what it takes to get the job done. So the choice is yours if you do want to find a new one or stay with the one that's that you are with right now. Right, so that is that was the free reading. There are going to be two more, guys. The other one is going to happen after Scorpio, and then the third one is going to be after Pisces. Anyone who decides to support the stream and the channel through super chats, you guys are going to have a reading at the end of the stream, guaranteed. And if your super chat is $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same format I'm doing for the star signs, the 3 cards elemental dignity spread. And should your super chat carry his own no inquiry with it, the reading is going to be about Mars retrograde and how personally is going to affect you. And of course, if you do decide to have a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. Hello, Zebra. A couple of minutes and moving to the next star sign, which is going to be Leo. Yeah, Unbreakable, you're not gonna get very well with if you do decide to go for a new lawyer, like I said. And it's very possible that this new lawyer is gonna keep you in the dark for certain things. There will be no compassion from them either. I mean, for them it's gonna be just a job. So I don't know. Truth be told, if your current one is doing good enough job, I would have stayed with the current one. Thank you, Unbreakable, for your $2. Thank you. You will have a reading at the end of the live stream, so stick around. And if you can't, you can always find the video of it after the live stream is over. Well, the new one is going to do it as well. Maybe the nature of, you know, what you are doing or what you are trying to fight over is such that you should be kept in the dark. Maybe it's for your own protection. All right, Leo, first card for you will be the 8 of Cups. Followed by the Ace of Cups. And the final one is the 5 of Pentacles. Those 3. And for the little I know for Leo, again, for the little I know for Leo from the astrology, that I'm so much abundant, okay, that may be a bit difficult transit, not because you will have to struggle and suffer, but because at certain situations, you will have to swallow your pride in a sense of that. Can I put it into words? You know, sometimes because you are proud, you are standing there and you are taking it. Well, you totally don't have to do that. Okay. Close relatives, for example, okay, were very miserable in their marriage for so many years because they were proud enough not to divorce because of what others are going to say about it, right? But as soon as they divorced and everybody went their separate ways, I know that at least one of them is happy. So that is very important here, Leo, that in such situations, not just in the marriage and the divorce, that was just a example, but in such a situations, You just have to let it go, okay, and move on. Because by you doing so, those two cards here that we do have, the Ace of Cups and the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Cups, are promising you so much better things for you. And when I say things, I mean literally anything in the future. Okay, so it's very important that right now, into the very first days of Mars retrograde, to identify what's not exactly what doesn't work for you, that will be incorrect to say, but rather what it is unsatisfiable for you, right? What you are not satisfied with, and just let it go. Just move on from it. That doesn't mean breaking up with it. Let me give you an example. Say that you have an argument with your husband or with your wife, and how this argument is turning out doesn't satisfy you at all, and you just cannot have it your way in it. Okay, well, you move on. You stop arguing. You let the other to do whatever they want to. Okay, you don't have to argue with them, and the future is going to present for both of you better things to enjoy and to flourish your love together, and so on and so forth. Bottom line is that you should not allow such situations to basically pollute your experience, because if you do move on, then circumstances or events which are going to pose impending change for you, that is going to overflow the empty spot of your heart with pretty much joy. So wherever you felt disappointed into or hurt about, is going to be mended. Pretty much that empty place is going to be refilled again, and that is going to transcend your day-to-day routine. So basically, if you do allow yourself to let go of and move on, good things are going to happen to you, things that you're going to freaking love. And also there is going to be a how can I put it into words, a change of a lifestyle. I don't know exactly how, but these two cards are showing here. Hold on a second, guys. These two cards for you, Leo, are showing here that in the next couple of months, basically, you will stop doing things that are basically detrimental for you, which you may like at the moment, but you will see that they're not good for you, and so you will move on from them. For example, smoking, drinking, drugs, and so on and so forth, if you do such things, or if you are way too forgiving, because forgiveness is a good thing, but if you are way too forgiving, that is detrimental. Everything in extreme quantity, it's detrimental. So that is for Leo. Now moving on, next we do have Virgo. First one for Virgo, that will be the Two of Cups, followed by the Hierophant. Hold on a second to remove the Leo sign. All right, next one is going to be the Hierophant. And the final one for Virgo, that is going to be the Eight of Swords. These three cards. So Two of Cups, guys. You probably all know that that card also reflects love, okay? And we do have the Hierophant as well next to it, like this. So that's if it is about love for you, that promises to be a really long-lasting one. Okay, so if it happens that you are falling in love or you start dating someone next couple of months, that could be very well for a lifetime, according to these cards. However, there is a few conditions so that love can thrive under the energy of these couple of cards. The first condition, it is that before you actually commit, you should have trust. Okay, you should build trust in between one another, and also you should consider the other person, consider, for the lack of better word, it's kind of like find out if that person is reliable or it isn't reliable. Okay, so this is very important, because you may love someone to the moon and back, but if you do not trust the person, or if you cannot rely on this person, you simply cannot be together, right? It's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be an affliction instead of something beautiful to experience. Also, in that interaction, okay, in this commitment, there should be no pride nor shyness as well. Your soul must be naked in front of the other person. And the final condition for you, Virgo, is that everybody must carry on their weight, right? Let me tell you what I mean. Let's say that you are a woman and you start dating with a guy. The guy calls you today and asks you out. You go out with them, you have a really, really good time. Well, it's your turn to call out, okay? So you both must do a equal effort, carry on their weight. You gotta meet each other in the middle, right? Other than that, you can expect Virgo to have a really calm time, especially career-wise, in the next couple of months. I mean, nobody is gonna mess around with your business and as well with your job. Nobody is gonna, how can I put it into words, swipe the ground beneath your feet and so on and so forth. And in general, you should have a quite of a pleasant experience in the teamwork of your firm, company, business, etc., etc., and in your social circle as well. This elemental dignity that we do have here, Two of Cups with the Eight of Swords, pretty much does speaks that you can discover new types of social circles if you want. You're gonna have your chance to do so, but it's entirely up to you. Would you like to explore them or not? Just like with the example I gave, I forgot which star sign about. I mean, you may be right now into a quite active social circles. Well, maybe you would like to explore more calm social circles, people that are just, you know, talking and so on and so forth, rather than going out on parties, etc., etc. And that's pretty much about it for you, Virgo. Now moving on, next we do have Libra. First one for Libra, King of Cups. Afterwards, we do have the Fool. And the final one is going to be the Page of Wands. Those three cards. So next couple of months, Mars retrograde is gonna bring you back they're not just opportunities, guys, but are kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. I would say it that way, offerings that you should have you should have took, or that you should have got. Oh my god. So basically, if someone was supposed to give you an offer but they didn't, well, now they are gonna do it. If they gave you an offer but you passed on it, now they're gonna give it back to you again so you can take it again. All right, so that is basically the that is basically the grand scheme of things for you in regards to Mars retrograding. And this is going to be like a correctional exam, right? Especially if the offer was good and you passed it for whatever reason. Okay, now totally, definitely there is no reason for you to deny it. Another thing that we do have here is by those couple of cards, guys, okay, the King of Cups and the Page of Wands, and basically it shows that you totally don't have to carry on alone. All right, whatever you are going through, you should not be ashamed or reluctant to allow people to help you. There are going to be helping hands which are going to be extended to you, helping hands to help you through your struggles, through your divorce, for example, through your recovery, and so on and so forth. And definitely there is nothing should be a predisposition or a condition for you to turn off those helping hands. And that's pretty much what Mars does for you. Pretty short one, but it is a quite of a gift. You have a second chance, second chances, okay? Second chances. Don't miss them. Because, for example, if someone proposed you and you turned it back, they will do it again. And if your, can I put it into words? If your premise was that you weren't ready back then, well, you are now. Don't miss your second chance. Hello, Empress and Kate. Welcome to the stream. If you turn down, for example, Libra, a job because you thought that you can do better, but you didn't, that job offer is gonna be linger for you again for the next couple of months. Don't miss it again. All right, next one, Scorpio. First one, the King of Wands. Second card, we do have the Nine of Pentacles. And the last one is going to be the Seven of Cups. It's a terrible experience for Scorpio. I mean, that Mars retrograde is gonna screw us around, at least according to my tarot cards. So you changed your account name. Empress Queen. So why it's terrible? Well, for one, these two that we do have, the King of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, it could have been worse, but basically what those couple of cards are showing is a couple of things. One is that we may kind of like involve ourselves into enterprises way more than we should, and by this, investing way more than we should. Okay, and the other thing is that, you know, our the accomplishments, or rather like the development of our ambitions for the next couple of months are gonna be not that consequential as we would like them to be. So my advice to all of us, including to me, is that we should rather take it easy. Okay. um I guess the good thing of that is that if bad things happen, they are also going to be not that consequential for the future as well. Okay. So that means that we can't pretty much screw the things so much that they go beyond repair, right? They go beyond the point of no return, so to speak. And the other couple of cards, which are those two here, okay, the King of Wands and the Seven of Cups, it's pretty much it's like a bucket of cold water in our faces, right? About how things exactly should be done about one thing or another. And many of us are going to see that we had lied to ourselves for many things, and we have to pretty much re-examine our ways for one thing or another. Now, good thing it is that this transit is rather long, right? It's 2.5 months. So these bucket of cold waters, they don't have to come one after another. All right, we probably are going to have a little bit of a break throughout, the hits, that are going to start coming. Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah, well, Shakti, it could have been worse. I mean, if we had a water card, not a water card, but a air card. For example, if we had an Ace of Swords, that would have been, or God forbid, the Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, instead of that King of Wands, that would have been terrible. Okay, for example, the Ten of Swords there would have mean that something we value hugely is gonna simply disintegrate. It's going to be decimated, right? So for example, if you value your job, and as much as you feel secure there, you go one day at work and you find out that you're fired. That is what I mean, decimated, right there, without giving you a chance, without the universe giving you a chance to do anything about it. So it could have been way worse, right? Jasmine, thank you so much for your 1999 US dollars. Thank you, Jasmine. Or the Nine of Swords would have mean that we are gonna cave, right? That we are gonna be cowards. Jasmine, make sure that you do stay up until the end of the live stream, where you're gonna have your personal reading for the transit. And now the second free reading contest starts. You have 5 minutes to input a question, guys, into the comments down below. And after 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of your questions and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. Pisces Moonbeam, it's not around. She has family duties. She's not single like I am. So, yeah, I mean, she is in and out though. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, happy Halloween, guys. I mean, we don't celebrate here. We are Eastern Orthodox, so we don't celebrate Halloween, but happy Halloween to all of you. Yeah, Serbs are, Lithuanians are, Latvians are, Ukrainians are, Russians are. Eastern Europe is Eastern Orthodoxy. The Greeks are, Macedonians are, I believe. I'm not sure about the Macedonians. I never checked. Yeah, they're illustrations by RawPixel. You can find them at freepik.com. Greeks are, yeah. Greeks are Eastern Orthodoxy. A little bit of a history lesson, guys. Um, when it was the moment to choose whether these lands to be Catholics or Eastern Orthodoxy, um, basically the dilemma was that if you choose to be a Catholic, then the Pope has the ultimate power, while the Eastern Orthodoxy Church allowed the kings to have their ultimate power over the country they rule, and so on and so forth. So if you are Catholic in those days, back in time, all right, um, I don't know which century, okay, 8th or 9th century or whatever. If you are Catholic and the king says something, the Pope can say, no, 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 you're not going to do that. You're going to do exactly as I say. And he has to do as the Pope say. While the Eastern Orthodoxy, the church has no business with the king's deeds. And that's why these lands chose Eastern Orthodoxy, because the kings wanted to preserve their ultimate power, which later was their demise to fall under the Ottoman Empire, because if they were Catholics, then the Pope would have sent crusade, because as soon as the Ottomans set foot on a Catholic land, they were pushed back by the united forces of all the Catholic nations and countries. So yeah, a little bit of a history lesson anyway. All right. Wolf class. Struggling financially with the family. Do you see any improvement for me anytime soon? Let's check it out. Chandra, thank you so much for your $4.99 US support. Thank you, Chandra. As usual, make sure that you do stay up until the end of the stream, where you are gonna have your personal reading. What do you mean, and single, how bittersweet? All right. Those are your cards. Wolf class. And I cannot say for certain, but if I were playing being psychic, because tarot readers are not psychics, okay, but if I had played to be a psychic, I would say that in a couple of weeks you are going to be asked to do something for a repayment. And should you do it, that is going to improve your financial state. Maybe, you know, at your work, you are going to be asked to attend to additional responsibilities, or it may open, you know, a second job may open in front of you, and so on and so forth. If you are in a private sector, like self-employed, maybe a client is going to show up for you, but whatever you are asked to do, it's going to be very demanding, and if you involve yourself with it, you gotta keep up with it. Okay, you definitely have to live up to the demands, otherwise you are going to be kicked off right on the spot. It's going to be difficult, okay, and I don't think that you're going to find it, let's say, ethical, although it's not going to be nefarious. So it all comes to that, whether you do what you have to, which is take the job, or whether you do what you want to, which is not take the job. But on its own accord, your financial state is not going to improve anytime soon. So you have to take the measures, and those measures are measures that you are not going to like. I am single, yes. Aha, okay. Well, you never know. I mean, the world, it's quite small. Alright guys, that was the second free reading. There is going to be a third one, which is going to happen after Pisces. And after that free reading, the super chat readings are going to take place. So if any of you decides to support the channel through super chat, is going to get a reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should the super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be the format that I'm doing for the star signs, the 3 cards elemental dignity spread. And should your super chat carry no inquiry, then the reading is going to be about your personal experience throughout the Mars retrograde, or how Mars retrograde is going to affect you personally. And if you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website. The link you will find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you will see full list of my services and as well their pricing. So based on your budget and also your needs, you can choose whichever one suits you best. Empress Moon, I don't think so. I would say that that's my opinion. The world is run by corporations these days. And if the church is a corporation, then yeah. All right, next one. We do have not Capricorn, it's Sagittarius time. First one, the star card for Sagittarius, followed by the Knights of Cups. Well, they're gonna have an easy time. And then it's the King of Cups. Yeah, you are gonna have quite of an easy time. Hello, Charlie. Welcome to the stream, mate. Right, Sagittarius, with those 3 cards, the way that Mars is gonna affect you is gonna make things quite easy on you. So those things that you are struggling with and you do find that they are quite hard on you, they are gonna ease up. All right, they are going to basically lose the news, if that's an expression. Well, it is. It's when, you know, the news is kind of like loose up around your neck. Basically, what those cards are showing it is that an era of turmoil and problems is pretty much ending for you, and now you will have a clear sight of how far you can go with your enterprises in the future. The only negative, it's not even a negative, it's more like okay, so the only thing that you gotta, how can I say it? This is the thing. While you're gonna have no problems, those cards also show that you will have no opportunities unless you make them for yourself. Okay, so the environment around you is gonna be so calm that you will have to basically create your options available and create your opportunities. That said, you like the woman, go talk to her. Don't wait that woman to kind of like blink with one eye on you, or kind of like make you a gesture or anything like that. Okay, you like the job, well, apply instead of hoping that they're gonna spot you and, you know, offer you the job on a plea. You want to, I don't know, you want someone to have your point, well, say it instead of trying to kind of like give them signs or anything like that. So you got to be very active into what you want, or in other words, you can get what you can take, and you can take everything for as long as you can get it, right? That's how it stands. And thus you got to be very, very active. Start taking things that are around you, because they are going to be, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so don't be shy, guys. Be initiative. That is my point. The best you can hope for here, it's a long-term job. It's also a quite of a smooth transition. For example, if you are going through such, you can hope as well to accomplish all of your standards and as well all of your ideals. And should we talking about romance and commitment relationship, then you can hope for a unfolding love, which means something that develops further. So don't expect things to happen overnight for you. That was for Sagittarius. Now moving on, next we do have Capricorn. First one for Capricorn, Seven of Pentacles, followed by the second card of the Ten of Wands. And the third one, that's going to be the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So it's more like a warning than anything else with those three cards. Basically, Mars retrograde is gonna show up for you, or is going to reveal in front of you, Capricorn, those enterprises which you are investing way too much in. Okay. Basically, it's imagine that those enterprises are like a cup, for example, a teacup. You can pour 2 gallons of water, but at the end of the day, the teacup can hold as much as a teacup can hold, right? There is no point wasting that water on it. And that is with the enterprises. For example, you want to invest in business, but that business can do with a certain investment. Investing even more than that is not going to make the business better, right? So and those enterprises are going to be clear to you, and it's entirely up to you to hold yourself back and use the rest of the resources for things that are going to work for you, which are also going to be pretty clear. However, because the Wheel of Fortune kind of stands neutral to the Seven of Pentacles, can I put it into words? That may be a bit underwhelming for you, Capricorn, but none of the enterprises is gonna be win or lose. Okay, so even if you cannot stop yourself, all right, or even if you cannot redistribute those resources into something different, that is not going to be the end of the world. Yeah, you are going to lose resources here and there, but they are not going to be that much that is going to deprive you of something that is going to make you, for example, struggle meeting ends, or deprive you of a certain luxuries and so on and so forth. It's just at the end of the day you may feel light if nothing else. So my advice to you, Capricorn, do what it is required from you, nothing more, nothing less. For example, at work, do what you have been paid for, nothing more, nothing less. Do what you have been asked, nothing more, nothing less. Sometimes people are trying to prove themselves doing more than they're asked or that they're paid for, and at the end it's natural to expect compensation, right? But that compensation never comes. Now I'm going to give you an example that it's happening to me very often, by the way, especially when I start dating girls or a certain girl, and that girl starts doing me favors, for example, and after that is expecting me to be to hold myself obliged, or how can I put it into words, that I'm owing something. I don't know, I don't owe anything because I haven't asked for those favors. So that's why don't do things you have not been asked for, because nobody is gonna compensate you for it. Very important. Even more, you can reach the opposite effect. But the people didn't want you to do what you did by doing more than you have been asked. Hello, Laura. Welcome to the stream. All right, that was Capricorn. Now moving on, next we do have Aquarius. Obligated. That was the word. Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much. In our country, we have that expression as a bear favor. I don't know why we call it a bear favor. When someone makes you a favor without you asking and then holding you obligated for that favor, that is called a bear favor. I don't know why again. All right, Aquarius, first one, it is the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the Five of Pentacles. And the final one is going to be the Five of Wands. Those three cards. So, because I'm rising Aquarius, of course, Aquarius also must have such a reading, okay? So what happens for Aquarius here, guys, is that basically throughout the next 2.5 months, Aquarius are gonna start seeing why things are not actually working out wherever they are not working out. So Aquarius are going to start identifying the problems, and many of those problems, and you may not like that, but it doesn't make it not true, are because of Aquarius themselves. In other words, the lifestyle of the Aquarius, it's not appropriate for the goals that the Aquarius have. And I'm not talking about the exterior goals. What we're talking about here, it is that Aquarius has a possession. For example, you are Aquarius, you have a job, and you know that in this job you can get a promotion, but that promotion never comes around. Okay, so that is unfound potential of yours. And in the next 2.5 months, you are going to identify why that promotion isn't coming about. And the reason is going to be something, some kind of a way that you are approaching the work itself. Okay, that's pretty much. So the problem is going to be within us, and the soon we do recognize the problem and fix it, which will require a certain change of a lifestyle or a style how we address the certain thing, the sooner we are going to how can I put it into words, develop, right? So the sooner we are going to develop that unfound potential. So Aquarius, if your relationship isn't going on very well, or your job isn't going on very well, or your friendships, okay, before you actually point fingers, try to examine yourself and how you address things around, okay? And if you are okay with anything you do, well, then you should be okay of how the situation is, because other people don't change for certain. Okay, that's how Aquarius should approach it. And from the other side here, we do have the Five of Wands there next to the Queen of Pentacles. That shows that there are going to be a little distractions. Okay, distractions, like there are going to be things which are going to are going to be distracting us from the heaviness of the environment, and thus we can indulge with those things just to kind of like filter our mind, vent something out, and so on and so forth, but they will have a little to no impact anywhere else. So if in those distracting events we happen to share some kind of a sensitive information, rest assured that that information is not going to be to become aware to the people that it doesn't have to become aware. Liz, thank you so much for your $20 support. Thank you, Liz. Make sure that you do stick around a little bit longer, because the super chat readings are approaching. I didn't knew that the islands are Roman Catholic. That's interesting. Thank you, Amethyst Moon. All right, and last but not least, we do have Pisces. For Pisces, Six of Wands, followed by the King of Wands, and the final one for Pisces, that's going to be the Nine of Swords. Those three cards, and they reflect drives which you may be, how can I put it into words? Well, that is one way how you can look at those three cards. Drives which you doubt yourself that you will be able to complete them. Like, for example, a task at work that you may be afraid that you will fail, right? Or a boy you like, which you may be afraid that they are going to deny you, and so on and so forth. So next 2.5 months, according to these cards, are urging you to face your fears, in a sense of that, you know, challenge them. Okay, if you are afraid of that this boy is gonna deny you, go there and ask him. And even if a denial comes, because Tarot cannot make choices for you still is gonna be a win, because first you will overcome that fear of asking out or whatever, you know, and next time is going to be much more easier for you. And second, you are not going to waste your time. For job, same thing. Try it out and see. Next time you will be way more confident, even if you do fail. And if you do fail, that is not going to impact your career whatsoever according to these cards. If nothing else, you will be rewarded for that at least you have tried, because that's Mars retrograde for you, Pisces. Rewards and recognition that comes for your tenacity, for your ambition, okay, for your cheerness, and for everything you are. But that is for as long as you show yourself and you act on it. So whatever you feel fiery about and passionate about, even if you have doubts about it, about yourself being a part of it, even if you are afraid that you may be left alone, do it, because you can only win from it no matter what. If you are expecting certain compensations and rewards, they are gonna come about. Okay, so probably you Pisces, I can't say that all of you are gonna have it, but many of you are gonna have bonuses here and there, okay, and a patting on your shoulders for a job well done, which is gonna boost your bolster kind of like your confidence and your enthusiasm to keep on forward. And if you do need help about something, you may be afraid of asking for it, but the help is gonna come nonetheless. And finally, for you guys, it's not gonna hurt you if you do have a good time here and there with friends, beloved ones, or by yourself, if that works for you. And that is Pisces reading. And now the last pre-reading is gonna take place. So in order to contest for it, all that you gotta do is just input a question into the comments of the stream, and in about 5 minutes I'm going to pick one of your questions and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. Thank you, Sam. Two and a half minutes, guys, to input the question if you do want a free reading. So Jennifer, you can rewind the live stream and find Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio this time around we pulled the short straw, unfortunately. So I guess there are no questions for the free reading. So moving to the super chat readings, Mattia, Jasmine, and Liz, your readings are gonna be last. Pisces Moonbeam, Unbreakable, and Chandra, your readings are gonna be first. So first one, Pisces Moonbeam with her usual question that only I know. Let's check it out. Oh, and you are here just in time. Two of Cups, no it isn't. Next one, Unbreakable, your Mars in retrograde for you. Five of Cups. Okay, so with the Five of Cups Unbreakable, first of all, you will see that, you know, long story short, things are not as bad as you may think they are. Okay, usually Five of Cups, it's related with the disappointments, right? But those are temporary disappointments. Just all that's you gotta remember for the Mars retrograde, it is that if you want something, you gotta keep up going. Something that character in a video game I very much liked was saying, you know, when things are hard, only thing you gotta do is just keep on going, right? That is only thing you gotta do. And the same thing for you, right? But also you will how can I put it into words? You will find yourself being convinced of the righteous, of which are the righteous things that you are following and that you want to accomplish for yourself. Chandra, your actually I put two cards here. Those two, so we do have Justice and the Five of Swords. Very much with the topic and the theme of the collective, Chandra, for you. It's all about you. You do what suits you best, okay? And be accountable towards yourself first and foremost. That is what the Mars retrograde requires from you, Chandra, according to these cards. In order to maintain the cost versus the gains in anything, love life, career, etc., you will have to kind of like manage your time very well. What I'm trying to say it is that you will have a fair share of responsibilities in the next 2.5 months. And according to these cards, if you do manage your time correctly, you will be able to involve yourself just as much as you need in every single responsibility out there. So having no time, it's not an excuse, but rather putting preferences, it's an excuse for you. You should have no preferences, but just a sense of urgency for you. And that sense of urgency should be guided of a self-accountability according to these cards. Whatever you have as can I put it into words? As a plan for you to accomplish, it can be accomplished into the next 2.5 months. All right, next, Mattia. First one is the Five of Swords, accompanied with the Ace of Cups. And the third one is going to be the Nine of Swords, Mattia. So these three cards here. Okay. So as an emotional experience, next 2.5 months for you are going to be somewhat indifferent. Okay. So according to the cards, neither you will have a huge satisfaction, nor you will have a huge disappointment, despite of what you are gonna go through, Mattia. However, those two that we do have, okay, are basically showing that you will have your fair share of chances to set yourself extremely advantageous, okay, in your business or in your family matters or in your social circle, basically everywhere you are. And that is going to be because you will find yourself being very experienced into those situations. So situations which you are very experienced into, do not be afraid to exploit the hell out of them, right? Just, you should not have any boundaries there because no one else is going to, okay? Also, I don't know if you are up to it, but you can definitely find someone to date into this transit Mars retrograde up until 12th of January. However, you have to be prepared to face the consequences. There are going to be quite severe consequences, but if you don't care, you can totally go for it. And finally, with those cards, Mattia, you can definitely diminish negative impacts for as much as you're going to have them. You may not have any, but should you are facing any negative impacts, you will be forewarned, again, based on your personal experience, and you will be able to mitigate, make a damage control out there. But again, the unfortunate thing is that, you know, there will not gonna be an overflowing emotions for you into the next 2.5 months. Like I said, it will be mundane experience. Next one, Jasmine. The moon for you, Jasmine, followed by Eight of Cups, and then Knights of Cups. Ooh. Jasmine, I don't know if you are currently are, but those cards are showing that your emotions, Jasmine, due Mars retrograde, are gonna be, well, roller coaster is to say the least. Okay, so almost throughout all of the time, you will be emotionally confused, emotionally uncertain about one thing or another. Okay, it's just what those cards are showing here. It is that whenever something happens, you will not gonna emotionally, you will not gonna know what to make out of it. Okay, you will not gonna know, should you love it, should you hate it. It's just, is gonna be a mess, which is, by the way, it may sound ridiculous, but it is a good thing, because while you are hesitant to make one choice or another, things are gonna start setting up on their own accord for you, and that is the reason why you are going to be emotionally insecure or emotionally uncertain, because things which are happening on their own accord for you into the next 2.5 months are things which you are meant to be a part of, that you cannot avoid, and that's why you are feeling emotionally uncertain about them. So you cannot make a decision, so you cannot alter the course of destiny for you. So basically, in the next 2.5 months, things which are happening to you are destined things, a very narrow elemental dignity for it, according to these cards. And I don't know if you are in love right now, but very, very possible to you for you to fall in love next 2.5 months, which is going to be emotional turmoil for you. Maybe you will fall in love in so-called in the wrong person, okay? Person that's by your standards you cannot be with. Well, you quickly are gonna grow to learn that there is no such thing of cannot be with, okay? You may fall in love despite your wishes. That is something very often in my experience, you know, person you hate and suddenly you realize that you love them, etc., etc. Long story short, don't fight what is happening to you, Jasmine, because you cannot escape it. That's Mars retrograde for you is fated. Same thing reflects the situations that you are not happy with. You can't change them, so just move on from them, because the future for you definitely holds a much better enterprises, much better perspectives. And finally, we do have Liz. Justice with the Six of Swords. Six of Cups, I'm sorry. And 10 of Cups. All right, Liz. I'm saying because that a little bit goes against the collective reading. Although your Mars retrograde is going to be a good thing, okay? And it goes against it because more often than not, according to these cards, you will find yourself doing things which are right to be done rather than things which you would like to do. And what those cards are showing is that, how can I put it into words? Your better judgment for the most cases is gonna go against what you would wish to be, although your acute sense of righteousness is gonna help you go through that barrier or through that boundary. So at the end of the day, the astute discernment you are gonna have is gonna show you what must be done in order one thing to be accomplished or another, and you, Liz, can accomplish a lot in the next 2.5 months. Definitely you can accomplish the maximum of what you can and you do deserve at that point. So if you do deserve to be, for example, on a higher position at your work, you can definitely accomplish that. But again, it's not gonna be pleasant for you, unfortunately. It's not gonna be bad by any means, but you definitely are gonna whistle yourself doing the work for it, okay? Same thing regarding your relationships, friendships, family relationships, love relationships, and so on and so forth. Another thing that is gonna take place there is that as the transit progresses for you, more and more the feeling that you do deserve more is going to start settling down. Not exactly that you do deserve more, that you do want more, and yes, that you do deserve more. And probably this is what is going to kick in the realization that you got to start doing things you haven't considered up until this point doing, or saying things that you haven't considered up until this point saying. But by the end of the transit, the results, or in other words, how far you expanded from the point you are right now, is going to be completely reciprocal to your actions and as well to your deeds. And again, you can accomplish a lot. So, but you have to be true to your nature, in a sense of that you gotta push in direction that you are prepared for. For example, an engineer cannot push in a direction of a lawyer. Okay, so whatever your expertise in, whatever your standards are, whatever your how can I put it into words, your assumptions are, that is the direction that you should push into. Okay, and you can accomplish pretty much a lot. But again, the deeds and the words are not something under normal circumstances you would do. Alas, they will be required for you to expand. That is your reading. And with that, this is going to conclude the live stream. I do want to apologize one more time if I had been a bit winded, guys, and my voice sounded strange. As you may know, I am sick and I haven't recovered completely, although much better than yesterday. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for your support and as well for your generosity. I love you all. And we are going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.